I applied for the Venture X card when it first got introduced back in 2021, and I got denied. And then I applied for the card close to about a year later. Even though the sign-up bonus was a little bit lower, I still wanted to get this card, so I applied for it, and again, I got denied. Now I see that there's an elevated sign-up bonus again for this card, so I decided to apply for this card for the third time. And hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to discuss my journey of applying for the Capital One Venture X card. Now the Capital One Venture X card was introduced back in November of 2021. This card was going to be in the same family of the Venture family, such as like the regular Venture and also the Venture One card. The difference with the Capital One Venture X card is this card is a premium travel credit card that is out to try to rival with the Chase Sapphire Reserve card and the American Express Platinum card. Now I'm just going to do a quick rundown of this card's benefits. With this card, when it comes to its multipliers, it's very simple. You get yourself 2x back on all of your purchases. 2x back on all of your purchases makes this a great catch-all card. If you actually look at the other popular travel premium credit cards, they tend to actually not be the greatest earner cards. Now, while the Venture X isn't the best earner card, 2x back is still pretty strong. Since this is a travel credit card, there's actually a number of travel perks that are connected with this card. And one of them actually ends up being a higher multiplier when you actually end up using Capital One's travel portal to make purchases. So when you actually make purchases for flights with Capital One's travel portal, you get yourself 5x back. And when you make hotel bookings and also car rental bookings, you get yourself 10x back when you use the Capital One Venture X card. Now with something like flights, I'm not as big of a fan to use this card to get myself the 5x back, since I actually already have the American Express Platinum card that can give me that without even needing to use a travel portal. But when it comes to hotel bookings, if I actually am going to be booking with a non-chain hotel, getting myself 10x back will end up being really strong. And if you happen to be someone who actually does use car rentals, this would definitely end up being a great way to rack up a ton of points. Now this card does have a $395 annual fee, but with the annual fee, you're going to get yourself $300 in a travel credit when it comes to your first $300 that you make through using Capital One's travel portal. Plus also you get yourself 10,000 Venture Miles every anniversary of keeping this card open. Venture Miles when redeeming for travel purchases are going to be equaled out to 1 cent equaling 1 mile. So if you actually end up taking advantage of the full travel credit along with these Venture Miles you're going to get each anniversary, you pretty much are covering the entire annual fee, which can actually end up making this card an easy keeper card. Also with this card, you're going to be granted Priority Pass. Now, I actually happen to have Priority Pass already with my American Express Platinum card, but the difference between the Priority Pass you're going to be getting with the Capital One Venture X card as compared to the American Express Platinum card is that with the Venture X card, you can actually add additional authorized users for no additional charge. Whereas compared to with the American Express Platinum card, if you add an authorized user who can get themselves Priority Pass, it's going to cost money to add that authorized user to get that card. But with the Venture X card, if you happen to have a bigger family, you want to make sure that your spouse also actually has a Priority Pass card so you can get the entire family into the Priority Pass lounge, then having the Venture X card and adding them as an authorized user is going to be the best and cheapest way to be able to do that. In the past, I've actually had many different Capital One cards. I've had multiple different Quicksilver cards. I've had the regular Venture card, the Venture One card, and also the Saver card. Out of all of those cards, currently the only one that I still have is the Venture One card. This card has no annual fee, so I didn't actually feel like I needed to cancel it, but it doesn't actually get any use because it just doesn't have very strong earned potential. But I decided to keep this card because of the available credit connected with it, plus also to keep a relationship with Capital One. Now, as Capital One was releasing its Venture X card, they revamped their travel transfer partners, which actually made them a much stronger program to be connected with. For those of you who don't know, transfer partners are going to be the best way to get top value for your points. One of the transfer partners that they added was Turkish Miles and Smiles, which actually ends up being a pretty decent program. It does have one of the worst websites out there, but when it comes to actually value for your points, Turkish can definitely end up being a great way to get over to Europe. Now, the thing about Turkish Miles and Smiles is that they're not partnered with the more popular of the transferable currencies, meaning they don't have a way to transfer over Chase Ultimate Reward points or American Express membership reward points. But if you happen to have Citi Thank You points or Venture Miles or Bilt reward points, all of these transfer over to the Turkish Miles and Smiles program. However, when you compare Capital One, Citi, and Bilt rewards, if you happen to be a low spender, it can be much harder to rack up a ton of points as compared to American Express and Chase because of the fact that they have way more cards, which also means they end up having way more welcome offers, which can allow you to rack up a ton of points fast. I'm someone who wants to have access to all the transfer partners because this way it's going to allow me to reap the rewards of all the different sweet spots that are out there. If you're someone who's loyal to a specific bank and you are completely Team Chase or Team American Express, you're not going to gain anything from just being loyal to one bank. There's way more opportunity if you decide to diversify yourself between all of these different banks. So as I said at the top of this video, I remember when this card was first released, wanting to apply for this card. It had a 100,000 point sign-up bonus, and it seemed like a great card to add into my wallet. So what I did is I immediately went over to my computer, applied for this card, and unfortunately, I got denied for the card. I later got a letter in the mail that told me that the reason why I was denied was because I had too many new lines of credit that had been added to my personal credit report. Now this actually probably is true because at that time, I was actually applying for a lot of cards, but just know that with these letters, whatever they're actually telling you tends to actually not even really be the case. A lot of times they just make up reasons for why they are denying you, but in this instance, it actually could have been a real reason why I was denied. About a year later, I decided to circle back to the Venture X card. And when I was looking at the card then, I saw the sign-up bonus had actually dropped to now being 75,000 points. Which for me, I think that 75,000 points is a very competitive offer when it comes to sign-up bonuses for travel credit cards. Now, I do know that there are some people out there who like to only apply for cards when they end up being at the historically high offer. I'm not someone who ends up doing that. I go for the card when I feel like the miles or points are gonna end up giving me value when me adding this card into my wallet. Now, obviously, if I end up seeing an elevated offer, I am gonna try to take advantage of the elevated offer, but there are people who will wait around for years waiting to get themselves the best offer for that card when you could have already have gotten that card, used those miles, and then moved on. 25,000 points in the long scheme of things isn't really that many points. Yes, it is a nice chunk of change to actually add, but if you don't end up getting it, you end up just using those miles on a trip you actually want to take, that ends up being way more valuable than just waiting around for that top elevated offer. So with this 75,000 point offer, I decided to apply for it, and when I applied for the Venture X card for the second time, I again got denied. And the reason they told me this time was because there was too many hard inquiries that had been on my account in recent time. Which actually also could have been the case because I had applied for a lot of cards right before applying for this one. So if Capital One is more inquiry sensitive, then the reason that they gave me for denial does make sense. So at this moment, I think to myself that maybe I'm at the point in my credit card journey where Capital One is no longer going to approve me for new cards. Because Capital One, for those of you who aren't familiar with them, tends to like to approve people who end up either being new in the credit card game or people who end up actually not having the greatest credit history. Now, they don't want people who have terrible credit history, but if you end up actually having a great high credit score, you've also have never really held a balance, Capital One tends to not want you as a customer because they want people who are gonna pay them back, but they also want people who are going to be paying interest as well. I'm someone who's been in the credit card game for about 10 years now, and in this time, I've never missed a payment, I've never paid any interest, and I have a credit score in the low 800s. So because of this, I'm probably in that list of people that Capital One does not want as new customers. I remember thinking to myself that, well, I am still currently a Capital One customer, I have the Venture One card, so why don't I just upgrade my Venture One card to the Venture X card? And while I am gonna be missing out on that super lucrative sign-up bonus, I'd rather have this card than not have this card at all. Because if I can't actually end up getting the Venture X card just from applying for it, at least I'm not gonna add a new line of credit to my credit report when I end up product changing my Venture One card to the Venture X card. So I decided to call up Capital One and tell them that I wanted to upgrade my Venture One card to the Venture X card. However, I was told that this actually wasn't an option for me. The only options that I was told that I had for my Venture One card was to product change to either to the regular Venture card or the Quicksilver card. Both cards that I previously had did not want to add them into my wallet. So this was annoying. Now I did read that people were able to product change their regular Venture card to the Venture X card. I don't know if they happen to have the offer available on their account to be able to do that, but I did read that that was an option. Now for me to be able to do that, I'd have to product change my Venture One card over to the regular Venture card, and then I'd actually have to wait a year. Because the Venture card has a $99 annual fee, I believe that if you end up going from a no annual fee card to an annual fee card, for you to actually go to an even higher annual fee card, you have to wait at least a year because of a rule that's connected with Congress. I could be wrong about that, but I'm pretty sure that actually ends up being the case. This is something I didn't want to do. I didn't want to have to wait another year to actually end up trying to get this card. And also, I didn't want to pay $100 to get the regular Venture card just to have the opportunity to be able to get myself the Venture X card. Now, during the time to when I last applied for the Venture X card till today, I actually would get emails that would tell me that I had an upgrade offer for my Venture One card. I would go check it out, but it would always give me the same two options for my cards. It would always say that either I had the Venture regular card or the Quicksilver card. This offer would pop into my email every few months, and I would always hope that the Venture X card would end up being one of the offers, but it never ended up being the case, and there wasn't any type of upgrade offer that you can end up getting yourself some type of sign-up bonus doing it. It just ended up being a product change going from my Venture 1 card to one of these other cards. And months later, after getting this email, I realized that there actually are some people who are able to product change their Quicksilver card over to the Venture X card. So that may have actually been an opportunity that I could have had. I don't know how long Capital One wants you to wait when you end up product changing one card to the next. And I also don't know if I have a guarantee to be able to product change my Quicksilver card over to being a Venture X card. But I didn't act on any of this for the last year. And I've thought to myself, well, you know what? I'm going to apply for this card one more time, and then if I end up getting denied for the card again, then I'm just going to end up product changing my Venture 1 card to the Quicksilver card, and then hoping that I can end up getting myself a upgrade offer to the Venture X card either immediately, or maybe it'll end up taking a year for me to end up getting that upgrade offer. Now, when I decided that the Venture X card was going to be the next card that I was going to apply for, I noticed that on Doctor of Credit's website, they actually had a link for a 90,000 point sign-up bonus. So I thought to myself that this is something that I need to act on. However, I had a sign-up bonus that I was currently working on with my Chase Ink Preferred card. I didn't want to be working on both of these welcome offers at the exact same time because I didn't want to miss out on either one of these sign-up bonuses. If you ever are applying for a new card, always make sure you can actually end up hitting the sign-up bonus with natural spend. You don't want to add additional spend because that ends up defeating the purpose for all the gains you're going to be getting from that card. And also, you don't want to miss out on it because you can't end up actually hitting the required spend because the sign-up bonuses are just so lucrative that if you actually have the opportunity to get it, do the best you can with your natural spend to actually take advantage of it. However, from my inaction of not taking advantage of the link with Doctor of Credit that was for 90,000 points, this link actually ended up getting pulled and it went back down to 75,000 points. As annoyed as I was, I still told myself that the Venture X was going to end up being the next card that I was going to apply for. So a few weeks went by, and then as I started to look to apply for the Venture X card, I realized that on Frequent Miler's website, they actually had referral links that were going to be giving you 90,000 points for the Venture X card. So I knew that this was the time for me to actually apply for this card. I didn't want to miss out on this opportunity again. So I sat down at my computer and used one of the referral links for the 90,000 point sign-up bonus. For all of those who've used my and also other content creator and bloggers referral links, it really does mean a lot. It allows us to get ourselves more points to be able to take some of these trips and also be able to make this content for you. Because unless you are a big time YouTuber, YouTube really doesn't pay a lot. So it really does help us out when you actually end up using our referral links. So I thank you for using mine and any other content creators out there. So I used that referral link and began to fill out the application. And I remember while I was actually filling out the application, I stopped for a moment and thought to myself, why am I actually gonna end up getting approved this time? The first time I got denied because I had too many new lines of credit. The second time I got denied because I had too many hard inquiries. This year I have just as many new lines of credit and also probably more hard inquiries than I did the last 2 years. So why would I actually end up getting approved this time? All of this actually went through my mind when applying for this card. Now, I was actually a little bit nervous when applying for this card, and recently, I actually haven't been very nervous when applying for a card. Maybe it's because it hasn't been cards that I've actually really wanted, but I've really wanted the Venture X card ever since it actually has come out. But I did tell myself that worst comes to worst, if I really want this card, I still have the option to product change over to the Quicksilver card, and then hopefully be able to upgrade to the Venture X card. But that was not an option that I was actually gonna need because when I actually hit apply for this card, I ended up getting approved. And not only was I approved, I got myself a $20,000 credit limit for the Venture X card. I'm happy to finally have gotten approved and be adding this card to my wallet. And I've said numerous times in this channel that you have to at least be up at bat to be able to get yourself a home run. And what I mean by this is that you actually have to be attempting to actually be able to get yourself the rewards for the attempt. I could have just told myself that I can't actually end up getting this card and just not even have applied for it, but I took the chance. And the worst comes to worst is that I would have added new hard inquiries to my account, which for me, I actually really don't care that much about them because I've noticed that there aren't that many banks that really care that much about hard inquiries. There are many people out there who are getting approved for tons of credit cards, and all these hard inquiries doesn't seem to be affecting their applications. Now, this is actually the second card that I've gotten approved for this year that I was denied for last year. The Aviator Red card was a card that also I applied for and got denied for last year, but got approved for this year. Now, the Aviator Red card is not a card that actually I really want to use that much. I just only wanted it for the sign-up bonus, but the Venture X card, it actually is a card that I want to add into my wallet because I do think that Venture Miles can actually end up being pretty valuable. So for anyone out there who's applied for a card that they really want and gotten denied for it, just know that this doesn't mean that you can never get approved for that card. Just wait a little bit of time. It may take many attempts, but you're gonna need to take the attempts to get the opportunity. And for me, it took 3 attempts, but they always say, third time's a charm. But But that's it. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comment section down below if you have any trouble with applying and getting approved for the Venture X card, or if you happen to want the Venture X card, or if you happen to already have the Venture X card. Now, if you happen to be interested in any credit cards, check out my referral links in the description box. If you decide to use them, it will really help out the channel, and I'll be incredibly thankful for your support. And if you happen to really like this video, then please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, share this video, and have a beautiful rest of your day. Peace.